There are over 50 Easter eggs in Supergirl. Most people caught maybe 5, and the ones they missed, those are the ones that actually matter. We're talking about eggs that change how you read the ending, eggs that explain why Kara is the way she is, and one egg that's been sitting in DC Comics since 1962, hiding in plain sight on screen. This isn't a list video. This is a Decode the Movie video. Let's go!
Supergirl just dropped! June 26, 2026. Second film in James Gunn's DCU, right after Superman. And here's the thing most people don't understand about Gunn's approach. He doesn't put decoration in his movies. Every name, every costume choice, every throwaway line, it's all connected to something. The foundation of this film is Tom King's 2021 comic, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. 8 issues, artist Bilquis Evely, one of the most celebrated superhero comics of the last decade. If you haven't read it, you missed a layer of this movie that no trailer prepared you for. By the end of this video, you'll know what the planet names actually mean. You'll understand why the ending isn't a change from the comic, it's a direct quote from it. And you'll see exactly how this film is already setting up the rest of the DCU, starting now.
Start with the world building, the planets, because every major planet in this film is named after a real person. The first planet Kara visits is called Holzher. That's not random sci-fi noise. That's DC Comics editor Brittany Holzher, the person who convinced Tom King to make Supergirl the protagonist of the comic. Not Lobo, Supergirl. No Holzher, no Woman of Tomorrow. No Woman of Tomorrow, no movie. They named a planet after her. That's the level of gratitude and detail we're working with here. Then there's planet Bilquis, named after artist Bilquis Evely, the woman whose artwork defined the visual language of the entire source material. And Ruthia's home planet? That's called Evely. Another tribute, same person. Look at the Argo City flashbacks in this film. The design, the color palette, the architecture. It's almost panel for panel from Evely's artwork. That's not coincidence. That's a love letter to the people who built the world this movie lives in. But the planet names are just the surface. The real deep cuts are buried in 60 years of DC mythology.
Let's talk about the Great Row. During the Krypton destruction sequence, a character invokes that phrase. Most audiences hear it and move on, but Row is the name of Krypton's red sun and the god Kryptonians worship. That name first appeared in a Superman comic from 1972. That's over 50 years of DC mythology honored in a single throwaway line. Then there's the green sun on planet Barrington. Kara lands there. The sun is green. She's completely wiped out, can't fight, can barely stand. Most people assume that's just a plot device. It's not. The idea of a green sun being harmful to Kryptonians dates all the way back to a 1962 Superman comic, where a villain literally filtered a planet's sunlight to turn it green and neutralize Superman's powers. The movie is pulling from 2 separate eras of DC history simultaneously, the 1960s and the 2021 comic, in the same scene. And then there's the Sclerian Raiders, the all-female space pirate crew that robs the interplanetary bus Kara and Ruthie are riding on. Most people assumed Gunn invented them for the movie. He didn't. They first appeared in a Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes comic in the late 70s. They're not even in the Woman of Tomorrow source material. Gunn pulled them from classic DC space mythology specifically to expand the universe. That's not fan service, that's architecture. Now, let's talk about the Easter eggs hiding in plain sight. The ones you saw, but probably didn't read.
The Blondie shirt! Kara wears a vintage Blondie tee for a huge chunk of this movie. More screen time than the Supergirl costume itself. And most people just clocked it as a cool detail. But this shirt is doing real character work. This version of Kara is a punk drifter, cynical, grieving, masking pain with recklessness. Blondie is a band defined by being female, punk, and genre-defying, decades before anyone gave them credit for it. That is who Kara is in this film. The shirt is telling you before she says a single word. Then there's Lobo's Space Hog. Jason Momoa's Lobo is already a massive DCU moment, but in his second scene, pay attention, you see his iconic flying motorcycle, the Space Hog, skull bumper and everything.
That vehicle has been Lobo's signature ride since Justice League International issue 18. And Momoa didn't just show up to ride it, he had real input on the design. He personally requested claws instead of gloved fingers. He asked for the chain to be bulkier, with a grenade charm attached. That's an actor who did the reading. And then there's the Superwoman joke.
In the movie, Kara kills Krem herself. She convinces Ruthier to walk away. Then she picks up the sword and does it. A lot of casual viewers read that as Hollywood softening the message, taking the easy way out. They're wrong. In Tom King's original comic, neither Kara nor Ruthier kills Krem. They both choose to walk away. The story then jumps forward decades to an elderly Ruthier who wrote a best-selling book about their adventure together. And on the very last page of that book, it's revealed she lied. The fictional ending she published to the world claimed Supergirl killed Krem with the sword. The movie didn't change the ending. The movie made Ruthier's lie the truth. They adapted the fictional ending from inside the comic and turned it into the real one. That is one of the most elegant structural choices in recent superhero filmmaking, and almost nobody talked about it. And it's not just clever. It's thematic. Kara takes the kill because Krypto, her last living connection to Krypton, was poisoned by Krem. She believes she can carry the weight of that death better than Ruthier can. This isn't the Supergirl who always finds a third option. This is a Supergirl who made a choice, a heavy one, and now has to live with it. Which matters enormously heading into Man of Tomorrow in 2027, where Gunn has already confirmed she and Clark will be at odds. The ending isn't a deviation from the comic. It's a setup for the next chapter. And that's what separates a great adaptation from a lazy one. It doesn't just recreate the page, it uses the page to build something new. If you want the full breakdown of how Supergirl sets up Man of Tomorrow and what Kara's arc means for the rest of James Gunn's DCU, that video is next. Subscribe so you don't miss it.